Awesome. Absolute value. Absolute value is the distance from 0, right? So we always define absolute value to be positive. So if you're talking about the absolute value of positive 4, it's going to equal positive 4, because if you think of a number line, I'll just draw it out real quick. -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If we say the absolute value of 4, it's going to equal 4 because 4 is 4 hops away from 0, right? Mm-hmm. But if we say the absolute value of -4, how many hops away from 0 is -4?
It's still 4.
Still 4, right? So when you take the absolute value, you always get a positive answer because we always say that distance is positive. Okay? Okay. So what happens here when you solve an absolute value equation, as long as you have a positive number initially on the outside, so as long as you have the absolute value symbols equal to a positive number, then that means that whatever is inside the absolute value can either equal the positive number that you have on the outside, or it could actually equal the negative of that number, because when you go to take the absolute value, it would become positive anyway.
Okay.
So what two solutions does that give us here?
So 3.6 and negative 3.6.
Yeah, so sometimes it works out that your answers are just the same number, positive and negative, but definitely not always, as you'll see in some of the other problems. But the reason that works is, let's check those answers. 2 times 3.6 is 7.2. The absolute value of 7.2 is 7.2, right? So we just confirmed that the first answer worked. 2 times negative 3.6 is negative 7.2, but the absolute value of negative 7.2 is still positive 7.2, okay. Right? So they both work. That's why you take whatever's inside the absolute value expression, as long as it equals a positive number originally, set it equal to that number or the negative of that number, and you'll get two solutions for the typical absolute value equation.
Okay.
Okay, as long as it equals a positive number on the outside. Okay, so what two equations could you set up here?
You would just pull out the 2x minus 1.
Yeah, do not change it. Just pull it out. Good. Set it equal to what?
To the 15.
And then what would the other equation be?
You can do it to negative 15.
Exactly. Okay, and then solve each of these equations like normal. So what solution?
So
yeah. Go ahead.
It would be 8 and negative 8. Oh, no, it would not.
Not negative 8, so you have to actually work it out. So what would the negative answer be?
It would be negative 7.
Very good. Because negative 15 plus 1 is negative 14, which when you divide by 2 gives you negative 7. Okay?
All right.
Now, there's also some special cases. For number 34, the absolute value equals 0. So if you use the rule we've been doing where you set it equal to the positive number and then the negative that number, that doesn't really make sense because negative 0 is just 0, right? So instead of there being two solutions here, there's only going to be one solution. Just take whatever's inside the absolute value and set it equal to 0. You can't create another equation because negative 0 is just 0. Okay, so then how would you solve that? How would you get the y by itself?
You would just divide the 16.
Y would equal
0.
0. Good. Not very exciting, right? Okay. The first step to solving an absolute value equation is you have to get the absolute value expression by itself. So here, how could you get the absolute value of 3n plus 6 by itself? What do you need to move over or get out of the way?
You would subtract the 17.
Good. So what does that give us now? The absolute value of 3n plus 6 equals?
Is a -9.
Okay. So what do you notice about this? What's different about this compared to the other problems we've done so far?
It's a negative number.
Mhm.
So it equals a negative number.
It equals a negative number when you take the absolute value. Is that going to happen?
Yes.
So if you take the absolute value of something,
Oh, no.
can
No.
you get a negative answer?
It equals a positive.
No, it's always going
No.
to equal positive. So anytime if the original equation with the absolute value still there equals a negative, you know that does not work. So your answer is actually no solution, or the empty set symbol that they have there.
Okay.
Okay. So let's check out number 36. What's going to be the answer to number 36?
No solution.
Why?
Because it's a -12.
Because it's a -12 that the absolute value has to equal, right? So when you're creating your two equations, you do create one positive, one negative, like back in number 33, right? But the original number had to be positive. That's the difference.
Okay.
Okay. So that is it for today. So let me go ahead and stop sharing. Stop the video.